2, 1. Hey, get the sauce.
Are we live? Is that what you're trying to tell me with that?
Yeah.
Hold on. I'd like to see it go on. All right, it's going on YouTube. The ads are playing, so let's wait a second. Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday, and it is time to go through the NFL slate. I'm sorry for the only 2 videos last night. Me and Prop Beaver were pressed for time, so we figured this was the best way, so we could still go through everything. Yo, Sean, I forgot to ask you, did you see how the Miami Heat game ended last night?
I did not. I was watching all college football yesterday.
Bro, that was our bet of the day, was Heat -3, and they were up 10 with like 52 seconds left, and it pushed. Like, get the fuck out of here. Sickening. Sickening.
It was disgraceful.
Oh, but the worst part of yesterday was Cincinnati. They were up 15 with 8 minutes to go. They force a 4th and 14. Dude hurls it up, and it gets batted. It catches like some weird Hail Mary touchdown. Cincinnati was tough. And the VIP finished minus 1.12. So if Cincinnati covers, we're actually in the green there. Shitty.
Mordecai didn't even finish the game for SMU.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. What are you going to do? College football. But all right, good morning to everyone. Wow, there's already 120 people in here. So we're getting started fast. We're going to go through every single one. We're also going to do like Prop Beaver's going to give his favorite prop for everyone. We'll do the total too, even though I'm not huge on totals. Sean likes them. So we'll start with the first game, Colts at Titans. And Sean, why don't you get us started?
Yeah, you said I like totals. I'm on the over 41.5 here. These two teams just played a couple weeks ago. It ended at 41. And I don't know if you guys remember the Colts offense, basically all the beginning of the season, absolute dog shit. They're starting to get it going now. Matt Ryan's actually one of the leaders in passing yards per game. Colts defense is still banged up. No Shaq Leonard, no Kwity Paye. Colts aren't good against the run. Titans should be able to hand it off to Derrick Henry and get the ball moving and put up points on this Colts defense that's injured. And then Matt Ryan should have no problem slinging it on this Titans defense that does not force pressure. The receivers are healthy now with Pierce and Pittman, and they get Jonathan Taylor back this week. I expect this game to go over this total easily.
I am with you on that. Actually, the 2 bets I wrote down were Colts plus 2.5. Beaver, are you putting the bets on the screen? Oh, never mind. I see him. Colts plus 2.5. And I'm putting on the same page, Colts team total over 19.5. I had the Colts and the Colts team total over last week as well, both cashed. Derrick, there's a downside. Derrick Henry destroys the Colts. In his last 6 games against the Colts, he's averaging 121 rushing yards a game and 5 total touchdowns in those 6. The Titans have beaten the Colts in 4 straight meetings dating back to 2020. And the Titans are coming off a bye. So I know this sounds like an endorsement for a Titans bet, but for starters, ever since the NFL changed the rules on the bye week and teams are no longer allowed to practice, or I actually don't even know specifically what the rules are. They're not allowed to do something during their bye week anymore. Since then, last year, NFL teams are 12, 20, and 2 against the spread coming off a bye. So I don't even know if we could take coming off the bye as even an advantage anymore. In fact, I've talked to some people who are using it as a disadvantage because it just builds some rust on your team. However you feel about it, that's your personal preference. But for me, it's a non-factor. I don't care that the Colts are coming off a bye. And with this Colts team, right, just like the Frank Reich Colts team of recent years, they're a completely different team in week 6, 7, 8 than they are in week 1. It's the case every year. I mean, Matt Ryan threw for 379 yards and 3 touchdowns last week. Finally finding some chemistry. They have receivers, Pittman and Pierce. Finally finding some chemistry with them. Now they got Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines back. The offense should only be better. I'm not going to say they're going to put up 34, 40 points again, but I think the Colts offense is going to be better the remainder of the season than what we've seen so far. That would be on par with what we always see from the Indianapolis Colts. And the defense is playing well. Now, last week they got run on by the Jags, but The Jags were able to break 2 long runs, and if you take out the 61-yarder and the 59-yarder, the 2 long runs Jags broke, they actually weren't that bad against the run. But more importantly, the Colts are going to, we already know what the game plan is. They're going to oversell to shut down Derrick Henry, and I kind of like how they're coming off a game where the Jags were able to run on them. It's like a wake-up call for the run defense. Even without Shaq Leonard, DeForest Buckner's playing awesome. I like the Colts here, and I'm taking them. Not going to bet the money line because I don't do that, but Colts plus 2.5. If the Titans are going to win this game, Ryan Tannehill is going to have to make plays through the air, which is always a shaky thing to rely on. So give me the Colts and the Colts team total over. What do you got for us, Prop Beaver?
I'm riding with the Colts as well. The Colts routinely tend to start off like absolute dog shit, but then as the season goes on, tend to kind of catch a groove, and that's what I'm seeing right now. I mean, Matt Ryan, despite looking horrendous through, I want to say, a good portion of the season, hasn't looked too bad lately. And I kind of really like his potential against a Titans secondary that I don't think is too great. You get Jonathan Taylor now back in the mix. So I think there's a lot of things working for the Colts here. And I don't know. I really just don't. I think, as we've said, you shut down Henry. What else do the Titans have? I don't think they have much. I think they're one-dimensional. And I think the Colts get not only the cover, but the win here.
Agreed. Look at us on Colts Nation. Actually, I'd like to get a gauge of what the viewership is on. So if you want, put in the comments, for, like, we're going to see for 15 seconds, are you on the Colts or the Titans here, point spread? Throw it out in the comments. Beaver, do you have a prop for this game? Hello? Did we lose him?
I can't hear him.
Yeah, I can't hear him either. He's throwing his camera around. Hello? No, I got nothing. All right, so I guess no prop from I guess no prop for Prop Beaver in that one. So let's just switch it to the next game, bro. Let's switch it to the next game. Giants at Jags. I put up a YouTube video on this one, so I'm sure most of you have already watched it. So yeah, I basically explained. I'll just like briefly summarize what I said in the YouTube video. If you go strictly by numbers and just follow the analytics, this line makes sense. In fact, I would have it more at like Jags -4. I understand the Giants are 5-1, and I understand it's bullshit to say like they've gotten lucky, even though they probably have, but it is unfair to take away credit from them. I'll give Giants fans that. But you guys are crazy if you think you look like a 5-1 team. I'm sorry. One guy in the comments said, he was like, how could you, like, the Giants are 5 and they find a way to win games. Like, all this analytics is stupid. They're 5-1. Like, dude, we're betting here. We're betting the game. And if you're not going to take into consideration that last week, the Ravens had what is it? I wrote it down somewhere. Whatever. The Ravens had like 410 total yards, and the Giants had 230. They nearly doubled their total offensive output. Yeah, the Giants won, and they deserve the credit for it. Round of applause. I'm not trying to hate on the Giants. I'm saying that's stuff you have to consider when you're placing a bet. This is our money we're throwing on the line. How do you expect we cap these games? One team is 5-1. One team is 2-4. I will take the 5-1 game. Obviously, we have to look at these games deeper than just who won or lost. Honestly, a little baffling that people don't understand that. But to me, the biggest test here is the Giants against a run defense. They haven't seen, like I said on YouTube earlier, they haven't seen a top 16 run defense since week 1 against the Titans. That was the game they lost on they won on a Titans missed field goal. So theoretically, they should have lost that game, but who cares? They won. And also, the Titans were playing like shit early in the year. They're a completely different team now than they were in week 1. I feel like I should add that as well. I think the Jags win this by more than a touchdown, possibly double digits, honestly. I'm all over the Jags.
Yeah, same. I'm on the Jags here. Like you said, the Giants are 5-1. Somehow every week they get dominated the entire game, statistically outgained by like 100 or so yards every time, and then win. That is something you do have to factor in. but I also feel like there's some regression going to be coming to that. Like that's not a sustainable way to keep winning. And then this line here, like I said, when you go over the numbers, it's the Jags. The number, I even said it in my write-up. I was like, when you look at this, you're going to be like, how the hell are the Jags -3? And then you look at the numbers between the two, and you're like, oh, makes total sense. Like,
Makes total sense.
So I'm on the Jags here -3. I have no choice to. The Giants are a run-first team. They want to live with Saquon Barkley. Jags have the third best run defense in the NFL, not even giving up 90 yards a game. If they shut down Saquon here, they're going to be able to roll and get this done. And just to answer somebody's question in the comments, because I said the Colts defense is not good against the run, so Derrick Henry could have a good day. And he said, you said they're not good against the run. What? They're 20th in the NFL in yards giving up per game on the ground. Out of 32 teams, if you're 20th, that's not good.
Yeah, the Colts also got run all over last week. Like I said, the Jags broke 2 long ones, but still, it was like 250 yards rushing they gave up to Jacksonville. Yeah. So, although I think they have the potential to be good against the run, yeah, you're right. Statistically, they haven't been. All right, is Prop Beaver back?
I thought so.
Can you hear me? Nope. Type your pick in, Prop Beaver. And while he's doing that, who's on the Jags and the Giants in the comments if you want to, so we can gauge how it's going? Are you guys on the Jags or the Giants? I always like to get a gauge of what the viewership likes. All right, so I guess Prop Beaver, you have your mic put in one of the layers and then you click live, right? Nod your head up or down. Okay. All right, so let's move on to the next game. All right, Beaver's on the Jags too. I can tell he's just cursing right there. I can't see what he's saying, but he's flipping out. Try using like your laptop mic or something instead. Even if it sounds shitty. All right, Bucks at Panthers. And I got to be honest here. There's no way in hell I'm laying 13.5 points with Tampa Bay. Look, the Panthers might be getting all 3 of their corners back. If you remember last week's video, that's why I took the Rams to cover against Carolina, was the Panthers were missing J.C. Horn, Dante Jackson, and C.J. Henderson. That's CB1, CB2, CB3 right there. I think all 3 are back. All 3 of them participated in a full practice on Friday, which usually indicates that they will be back. And if you remember last week, even without the corners, we struggled to get that Rams -10 cover. It was looking like real slim.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we edged that one out.
Interception in the end zone sealed it, but they were right there.
Exactly. It's almost like it felt like for most of that game we were on the wrong side. So now you add these 3 corners back. Yes, Christian McCaffrey's gone, and yes, DJ Moore's probably quick to follow. I can see him maybe even seeing limited snaps because they don't want him to get hurt before they trade him. But I'm not big on this whole tanking aspect. Like, to me, tanking happens on the front office level. Like, yeah, they could ship off McCaffrey and ship off DJ Moore. But Steve Wilkes is coaching for that job.
Yeah.
If the players are playing for contracts, everyone standing on the field is not tanking, especially not in week 7. Week 7? Like, if it was 16 or 17, like, okay, maybe I can hear it. Like,
they're thinking about the offseason or something. Yeah.
Right. Like, I could maybe see it. But week 7, these guys are playing. And 13.5 points. Tom Brady, as a road favorite last year and this year, is 4-7 against the spread. Since joining the Bucs, he has not been good on the road. He has not been a safe bet at all. The one road game where the Bucs covered this year was 20-10 over the Saints. Jameis Winston threw a pick 6. The Bucs offense only scored 13 points in that game. The Bucs offense on the season, this is including the home games as well, are averaging just 20 points a game. And you're trying to lay almost 2 full touchdowns? I mean, the Panthers defense, it's not good, but it's been decent against the run. I think it's like 18th or 19th against the run. Leonard Fournette's been the best piece in the Tampa Bay offense easily this year. If Carolina could just hold him to 4.2, 4.4 yards a carry, how are the Bucs going to score enough points to even cover this? I mean, PJ Walker, God bless him. I'm rooting for him. He's not good. The Panthers offense should be abysmal. I'm not going to argue any of that. I'm just saying if the Bucs are only going to score 20, 24 points in this game, I'll take 13.5. I definitely will. Let me just look at my notes, see if I forgot anything. Yeah, I pretty much covered it. Yeah, I said there's a chance the Bucs score less than 20 points. I wrote in my notes. It's a slim chance. I doubt they score less than 20. But the point is, I don't think this Bucs offense has shown us anything close to enough to lay these kind of points.
I fixed my mic.
Yeah.
I fixed my mic.
Just being honest here, the only thing that I would even look at in this game is the under 39. To be honest, the Buccaneers offense is broken. Tom Brady, Fournette, Mike Evans, Godwin, it hasn't worked. The Steelers were missing their entire secondary last week, and they still couldn't put it together and find the end zone here. I could never lay this many points with this Buccaneers offense at its current form. And then this Panthers, like you said, the tanking thing is blown out of proportion. Players don't tank. Players are playing for contracts. Players want to win. That doesn't matter if they're trying to lose. But that being said, I would need like 17 to ever take the Panthers against the Bucs. I can't get there yet. So the only bet that I would even consider making in this game would be the under 39 with two bad offenses currently and two defenses. The Bucs are better than the Panthers defensively, but this Panthers defense is not as bad as their record shows.
Agreed. Yeah, and not just the players. Steve Wilkes, man, he wants a shot at being the head coach. I don't think he'll get it, but he's coaching for it.
Can you
did
hear
we get
me
Beaver
now?
back?
Can
No.
you hear me now?
No.
What the?
Can't hear.
God fucking damn it!
All right, Beaver, can you type in the picks for yourself though, so they can see that? All right. Next game. Hold on, Beaver's putting his pick up because I don't even know who he like. Okay, he's on Carolina too. All right, and Sean said the under 39, but they already know that. They can hear. Let's cruise on to the next game, which is Green Bay, Washington. And this is a tough, I mean, I hate when people say this is a tough one because they're all tough. The books are smart as hell. But this truly had me back and forth. I mean, at first glance, I wanted to take Washington.
Mom, what?
But, so Aaron Rodgers hasn't lost 3 games in a row since 2018. I believe 2018 was also the last time he's lost 2 in a row. I wrote that down really late last night, so if I messed up, I'm sorry. But I'm pretty sure that's right. He's not lost 2 games since 2018 until now. That just happened. The play for the I hear the music out of nowhere. I just hear the music in my headphones now.
Yeah.
So the Packers' weakness is the run defense, and on paper, it looks like Washington can't run, and that might be true. But the offense that we've seen from Washington the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season is not the offense we're looking at this week. We saw for most of the season Antonio Gibson and Carson Wentz. I mean, we're seeing Taylor Heineke and Brian Robinson this week. I'm not saying all of a sudden they're going to be a rushing juggernaut. I'm just saying it's a whole new look, and we don't 100% know what to expect. And that scares me a little. I'm full disclosure, I'm on the Packers, so I'll let you know now. I'm laying the 4.5 with the Packers, and that scares me a little. That there's a new look offense, a new quarterback that's more mobile than Carson Wentz. No one has film on this new dual threat rushing attack. I can see them being sneaky and moving the chains a little bit. But last week, Brian Robinson played, and he played against one of the worst run defenses in football in the Chicago Bears. He had 17 carries for 60 yards. So who knows? But anyway, Washington missing Logan Thomas and Jahan Dotson. They still have McLaurin and Curtis Samuel, so it's not like they're decimated. That's 2 nice targets not to have on the field. What I like about this spot for the Packers, and this was the ultimate deciding factor for me because I went back and forth. But the ultimate deciding factor is you got the Packers coming off 2 losses, right? This is the first of a 3-game road trip for the Packers. So they're about to play 3 road games back to back to back. The next one after this is at Buffalo. So if they don't win this game, there's a chance that if they don't win this game, they are most likely going to move to 3-5 after they get beat by Buffalo. The Vikings, by the way, hold on. The Vikings have a bye, then they get Arizona and Washington. So if they lose this game, there's a real good chance that they're 3-5 4 games back of a 7-1 Vikings team. This is a must-win game in all accounts for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. I know they've looked awful. I know that we all hate the play calling. Why do they keep throwing it deep? Run the football. I know all that, but I'm on the Pack in an absolute must-win situation. I'm riding Aaron Rodgers again. I've lost betting the Packers back-to-back weeks, and I'm riding them a third week.
Yeah, same here. Like you said, when I looked at the schedule on Sunday night for this week, I was like, all right, cool. I'm probably going to be on Washington. No, at 4.5, I have no choice but to bet the Packers. Like you said, Washington's missing Jahan Dotson, and they're also going to be missing De'Ami Brown, also their number 4 wide receiver. But like you said, McLaurin and Samuel are 2 very good targets as well. But this Packers defense is the number 1 defense in yards allowed through the air. So I'm not expecting a big day out of Heineke and this Washington passing attack. And like you said, Robinson had 17 carries for barely over 60 yards last week. So I'm not expecting him to be able to gash this team on the ground either. And Washington's defense is giving up a boatload of points to a lot of people unless they're able to get sacks. And I'm not expecting them to do that here versus Aaron Rodgers. At this number, 4.5, I have no choice but to take the Packers.
Nice, we're in agreement. Oh, by the way, it seems like from the comments, I think YouTube can hear you, Beaver. Me and Sean just can't. So give your stuff out. Me and Sean just won't.
Oh, we can hear you now.
Oh, I hear you.
Yes. YouTube. Yes, I yelled at my mother, who was telling me, AJ, they could hear you. They could hear you. I yelled at my mom because I was under intense stress, people. Intense stress. I'm trying to provide picks. I'm trying to provide content. The comments are racing. I'm sorry. Yes, and also I'm sorry as a 22-year-old man that I live with my parents still. I'm very sorry. Debt is a real thing. I am sorry, but we are here. We are back. We're giving picks. And I am here to give the Green Bay Packers -4.5 as a pick, and Rodgers 2+ pass TDs as a pick at -120, which honestly I thought was crazy value. So yeah, especially against that Washington secondary.
Me and Sean didn't get to hear that. I literally cannot wait till this ends and clip it back and listen to Beaver yelling at his mom. I can't wait. I kind of want to stop the show and go watch that now. I'm sure that was cool.
I truthfully am very embarrassed by it.
All right, let's move on to the next game. Oh man, that's so good. He yelled at his mom. Mrs. Prop Beaver, if you're watching, I apologize for his behavior. That is not a reflection of him spending time at the office. I don't teach him that kind of shit.
No.
All right, Lions Cowboys. Sean, we're on opposite sides of this one. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah, I don't think we are anymore.
Ooh, you've come to the dark side. Why don't you start? Start us off.
Yeah, so for the write-up that I submitted for this week, it was Lions +6.5, but I actually fully expected DeAndre Swift to be able to go in this game for the Lions. All the talk was that he would be back in the lineup this week, but he's not. And that's how you beat this Cowboys defense is on the ground game. They give up a bunch of yards in the run. You're not going to be able to. The Lions do have a good offensive line, this will be the second good offensive line the Cowboys have faced all year. And we saw what happened last week when they came into Philly. That D-line got humbled. But this Lions O-line, outside of that, there's not really much going on with all their injuries that they have. And without Swift, I can't get here. Even though if there might be some rust with Dak, this Lions secondary is awful. I think me, you, and AJ could go out there and hang 14, 17 on them. But, yeah, so the Cowboys offense should have no problem moving the ball. And without Swift, I can't get behind this Lions team. So, yes, my write-up is pretty much null and void because when I seen Swift was out this morning, I'm going to be on the Cowboys.
I agree that does change things a lot. I was on the Cowboys before, and I'm still after. What worries me, though, is, okay, so they announced that Swift probably isn't playing. Why hasn't this number moved back to 7? I mean, I'm glad I got my bet in. I put a full unit on Cowboys -6.5. I got it in, but I wanted to see it move to 7, so I felt like I was holding more value. It hasn't. Which, I mean, not that that means anything crazy. Just personally, I would like to see it move back to 7 for my own mental sanity. So, like Sean said, the Lions' offensive line has been great. Their numbers on the offensive line look really good. But this team sucks. I don't. There's this notion going around that the Lions aren't that bad and Dan Campbell's a good head coach. Yeah, it looks great on HBO. This team sucks, man. I will give you, if you're a Detroit Lions fan, that I think there's reason to be hopeful about the future. I mean, TJ Hockenson looks like a superstar tight end. Swift is electric in open field. The offensive line is good as hell. There's reason to be hopeful for the future if you're a Lions fan, and I guess that's new. But this isn't the future. This is the present, and this team is still trash. Micah Parsons coming off maybe his worst game as a professional NFL player against the Eagles last week. I bet he makes a couple big plays. Dak is back. Dalton Schultz is back. I'm not huge on this Cowboys team. I'm still sticking with my original opinion on the Cowboys that they're like a 9-10 win team tops. I realize that they're, what are they, 4-2? So I understand that they look like they're going to surpass that total, but I'm still sticking. That's where I think they are. But this Lions defense is so bad, and this Lions team as a whole is overvalued. From the week 1 backdoor cover of the Eagles, they beat Washington. I mean, think about it. That's their only win, was home against Washington. It's their only win. This team is trash. Did I forget any notes? I put this one on YouTube, so I didn't write many notes for the live show because I figured everyone already saw everything I said. But yeah, I'm on the Cowboys here. Happy to get it at 6.5. Give me Dallas.
Dude, this guy Trip J Products in the comment put, friends, how was the show today? Me, no idea, but Beaver yelled at his mom.
Everyone's like, bring Beaver's mom on.
I will bring her on next week. I need to apologize. I gotta do something. I don't know. I feel bad yelling at her in public. I mean, I'm not like one of those kids. I want everybody to know that. Also, I've typed the wrong pick probably 6 times now, just due to pure frustration. All right, Dallas minus 6.5, so I got that going for us. And then Schultz over 30.5 receiving yards, minus 110. Everybody's talking about CeeDee Lamb this week. Oh, when Dak is back, CeeDee Lamb averages blah, 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 blah. What about Dalton Schultz? Dalton Schultz these past 3 weeks has literally disappeared into the void, but with Dak Prescott averages like 55 receiving yards a game. The guy's total's at 30.5. I think that's very disrespectful. Now, it could be a bit trappy, but they set a line very similar for Goddard a few weeks ago that we bet on and cashed with ease. So, I don't know. Maybe just in terms of the projections, they have it lower than I think it will be.
Yeah, you were telling me you liked Schultz last night too. So, and I agree that the total looks low. What did you say that he hit this total like 7 of his last 9, right?
Well, he's 10-2 to the total at home with Dak Prescott, and
perfect.
And last season he was a cash receipt, so I like it.
A nice little SGP piece there, if you're an SGP type of dude. Why don't we cruise on to the next game though?
All right.
Which is. All right, this is the one where I switched sides. So I was on the Falcons all week. I am now on Cincinnati minus 6.5. This is Sean's favorite bet of the week. And actually, Beaver was trying to talk me into coming to the Bengals last night before he left also. But it actually was this morning when I finally jumped ship. I woke up early and I was just doing some last-minute notes, typing up the VIP ticket. And, this Falcons team is 6-0 against the spread. And if this was the NBA, I would bet them blind because you ride those trends in the NBA. There's crazy trends that happen in the NBA. Dude, if you really look at the Falcons' schedule, I mean, last week they played a completely decimated 49ers defense that was missing 5 starters, and the 6th one was banged up and didn't play the full game. So throw that game out. Their 2 road games against good defenses, they played 2 road games against good defenses. One of them was Tampa Bay. They were down 21-0 in the 4th quarter, getting completely shut out and got a crazy backdoor cover. Now, again, if you had the Falcons like I did, great. We're pumped. But they didn't deserve it. They were getting shut out in the 4th quarter. The other one was on the road against the Rams. The score of that game was 28-3 with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. So another game where they just got completely rocked and then came back and got the backdoor cover. Do you really want to keep relying on that miracle backdoor cover? Because I don't. And the Bengals defense looks solid this year. It actually is playing better than the Bengals offense, surprisingly. Now, the Bengals offense looks like it's waking up finally, but the defense has been better than the Bengals offense. The Bengals defense is good. Like I said, the 2 times Falcons played a good run defense on the road, they got completely spanked. I kind of just said that. I'm sorry. I'm trying to follow my notes here. Yeah, that's all I have. The Bengals, I think, should win comfortably. I was just going to bet the Falcons because they were 6-0 against the spread on the road. And I heard Sean saying these stats and Beaver last night trying to give me these stats. And I was like, no. They're 6-0 against the spread. I'm betting them. And then when I really looked at it, the Bengals is definitely, they're the right side here. So go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, I love the Bengals. Pissed I didn't get it at the opener. Lost a point of value there. But still love it at 6.5. I think this is absolute blowout potential here on the Cincinnati side. This, like Kyle just said, their defense is actually better than their offense this year, but their offense is getting it going. And how do you stop this Cincinnati offense? You get pressure and sack Joe Burrow. The stat that stands out to me the most in this one, the Falcons are 32nd in the NFL in sacks per game. Joe Burrow is going to be able to have all day to stand back there in the pocket and find these receivers and playmakers in the passing game. And this Falcons secondary was actually supposed to be the strong point of this defense this year, and they've been getting shit on week in and week out. This Falcons offense does not have the firepower to keep up with the Bengals team. Burrow's going to have all day to throw, and he's going to eat in this one. Give me the Bengals -6.5.
Question: did you really call it a mega whale hammerlock, or is that just Beaver writing that on the screen?
That's Beaver writing that in there.
I was like, I don't think I've ever heard Sean use words like that, but
No, this is the type of shit where, like, if your friend asks for like a kidney or something like that, you say, "Nah, bro, I got you. I'm gonna place this bet for you. You're good. I'll pay for your surgery." Dude, the Bengals, I don't know. I just think that everybody knows that the Falcons are 5-0 or 6-0 against spread, whatever it is. I'm sure sportsbooks everywhere are tweeting, the Falcons are the only remaining undefeated team against the spread. And like, ooh, let's bet the Falcons this week. The Bengals haven't looked that great. I think this is actually the perfect matchup for the Bengals to light that ass up. And I don't see much hope for the Falcons. I just don't like their chances of coming from behind as a rushing team. I don't know. I'm going with the Bengals.
Yeah, all right, we're all on the same side. I'm not as big on it. I'm not going to call this an Augustus Gloop vintage lock or a Mega Whale hammer lock, but I do agree that it's the right side. I'll give you that. You have a prop for this game, Beaver?
The previous game? I would probably go with Drake London over receiving yards. I think it's at 40. I couldn't tell if it was at 44.5 or 48.5, but I was definitely looking at that or Pitts. I know that the Bengals allow the 5th most receiving yards to tight ends, but Pitt's usage is kind of weird. I'd rather go with the firm target leader in London at about the same total to go over his total.
I could see that, especially if the Bengals jump out to like a 13-0 lead or something. I could see that. I mean, Mariota sucks, though. All right. Wait, I have Falcons Bengals still on the screen. Does everyone else have that?
Yeah, now I'm changing it back. Pookie Reese.
Oh, you changed it back. All right, got it.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll start first.
Okay. This is where this game is where the comment section gets mad, by the way.
This is where I put my public hat on and I say, it's fucking time. I've been waiting all season for these goddamn Ravens to wake up from their nest and to flock and to come and flock and to come together and to dominate. And this Browns defense is absolute dog shit. They're horrible at stopping the run. They can't stop the pass. Denzel Ward is out. They're an atrocity. I don't care if Rashad Bateman's playing. I don't care if Mark Andrews playing. They could have Devin Duvernay as the number one out there. Give me the Ravens -6.5 at home. They're smashing Jacoby Brissett. Nick Chubb can't run against the AFC North. Fact.
Wrong.
Fact.
Wrong.
Fact.
Where's the Donald Trump gif? Wrong. I'm on Cleveland here. This is going to be a close game, and I actually think Cleveland's a live dog in this one. We're very used to Prop Beaver being a public Pete. The entire world's on Baltimore. Heavy public on Baltimore here, and this line still just won't hit 7 because the books aren't trying to give out Cleveland +7 ticket because they know it's going to be close. Cleveland has the best rushing attack in the NFL. Not second, not third, the best. They average 172 rushing yards per game, and despite all the shit talking about Cleveland being trash, they're one game out of first place. In fact, if the Browns beat the Ravens today, they may very well be in first place in the division when this day is over. Crazy, I know. I was huge on Baltimore entering this season, and I still like them. I truly do still like them. Lamar Jackson made me a believer this year. He's throwing the ball really well, but the offense kind of looks stale. I thought the rushing attack was coming back, and last week against the Giants was the perfect moment to show us the Ravens rushing attack was back, right? It's on the road against a Giants team that was 4-1, that had this hype. Giants struggled to stop the run. I was on the Ravens. Actually, wasn't the Ravens the bet of the day last week? I think it was. Yeah.
Yep.
So we had Ravens as a bet of the day last week, and they lose. They don't just not cover. They lost to the Giants. I know that they outgained them, but that's the story of the Ravens is they just keep shooting themselves in the foot. Baltimore's 23rd in the NFL in red zone scoring percentage in the last 3 games. Even the third down conversion numbers are down. They just keep finding ways to either lose the game or let their opponent just right back into it, despite being the better team. And I mean, this one, what better spot to bet on something like that happening than a division rivalry? These teams don't like each other. I don't think the Ravens defensive front is going to have an answer for Nick Chubb. I'm not going to sit here and say Jacoby Brissett is going to make a ton of plays, but I'm back in Cleveland here. I like the Ravens to win by a field goal. Ravens run defense just 24th in DVOA. This team can't stop the run, and all Cleveland does is slam it down the throats of their opponents. Give me Cleveland +6.5 with a possible upset win.
Yeah, I am also on the Browns here. AFC North divisional battle. They're normally tightly contested. Anytime I'm able to catch almost a touchdown with a dog, I will usually always lean, at least that way. But after looking at the numbers, I'm still in on the Browns here. They lead the NFL in yards rushing per game. As Kyle just said, this Ravens defense is in the 20s in DVOA rush defense. And I just can't ignore the fact that with this Ravens team, they could be up 30 in the fourth quarter, and the back door is not closed. This team blows more leads than I don't even know. It's ridiculous. Like I feel like the best bet in football is live betting money line on the team losing to the Ravens going into the fourth. Like that's like been the biggest moneymaker this year in the NFL. So the fact that I can't lay almost a touchdown with a team that seems the back door is never closed. So I'll gladly take 6.5 in a division battle versus a team that can't hold a lead.
Any props in this game, Beaver?
In that one? Nah, see, my problem is I don't really know what's going to happen with the RB carries for the Ravens. I like the Ravens to kind of run all over the Browns, but I don't know if it's going to be Lamar. I don't know if it's going to be Justice Hill. I don't know if it's going to be Kenyon Drake, Gus Edwards. So there's really not a prop to give there. Maybe like an under for a Ravens receiving guy? I don't know. I'm good. I have a prop for the next game. And it's
no
juicy.
Problem. I actually like the over too in Cleveland, Baltimore. I forgot to say that. I like the over at 45.5. I honestly, I could see this game being fairly high scoring, maybe like a 35-31 final, something like that. I could see it being very high scoring. So I like over. But anyway, next game.
Wrong square.
Square. The money's on the under, you schmuck.
Wrong
Go to the
square.
next game, bro.
Wrong square.
I don't even want to say my pick in this one. Sean, go first.
Oh, you thought I was failing you?
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
I'm going to be on the Broncos money line here. I'm sorry. It opened at 3. The Russ news should not make this line move that much. It was already steamed down because of his injury. People didn't think he was going to play. It was -1 basically after from like Wednesday on. So now the fact that it was officially ruled out, they flipped to now a dog here. I understand the Jets are playing good football. And kudos to them, hats off to them. I mean, 4-2 and can't keep their second-year receiver happy. I don't know what the hell's going on there with that Jets offense.
Yeah,
Elijah Moore. If you're on a 4-2 Jets team, bro, it don't get no better than that. Why are you asking out? But as far as this game goes, this Broncos defense is legit. They've allowed 3 passing touchdowns all year in 6 games. Only 3 passing touchdowns. Zach Wilson's gonna have a tough day in this one. Their run defense is also very good as well. They are 13th against the run, so I'm not expecting a big performance out of Breece Hall and Michael Carter out the backfield either. And then Brett Rippon is starting for the Broncos. But has anybody watched Danger Russ play this year? If you bet on the Broncos and use this offense, it's been Danger Russ all year. It was Rippon really a downgrade from Russ? I can't get here. I think the Broncos are the better overall team. Quarterback play should not see a significant downgrade. So I'll take the money line with the better team at home.
What you said, the Broncos pass defense has only allowed 3 passing touchdowns all season. 2 of those actually came in week 1 too. So it's actually 1 passing touchdown in the last 5 weeks. Crazy. But here's the thing. The Jets are winning games without throwing the ball, which is why I'm on the New York Football Jets. Jets -1.5. I mean, last week the Jets won. Let me just pull out my notes here.
Pull them out. Whip them out. Come on.
First of all, I don't know who the quarterback of the Broncos is, nor do I care.
You asked me last night, and I said a literal loser.
Yeah, that's what you said. You're like, he's a literal loser. That's what AJ said. An NFL player. Literal loser. The Jets' lockdown corners are going to force Denver's hand offensively. I mean, what the Broncos' 2 best offensive weapons are Sutton and Judy. That's the Jets' defensive strength, is taking out your number 1 and number 2 wide receiver. Not only have the Jets won 3 in a row, but 2 of them were pretty much blowout wins. They're not just squeaking by like the Giants. I mean, the Jets are beating up on teams right now. So the Jets went 1 for 11 on 3rd down last week. Think about this. If I told you before the season started, right? If I was like, yo, week 6, the Jets in Lambeau Field go 1 for 11 from 3rd down. What's the final score of that game? You'd be like, Packers 35, Jets 6. No, they beat the shit out of the Packers and went 1 for 11 on 3rd downs. Only can expect some positive regression on 3rd down conversions from them there. Dude, hold on. I didn't write it down, but I want to pull it up because I already referenced it. Zach Wilson's numbers last week, and what Sean said about the Denver pass defense is 100% correct. But look at Zach. Do you know Zach Wilson's numbers last week offhand, Beaver?
I think he was 10 of 18 for 107 yards. He had
Got
0
it.
touchdowns.
I just pulled up 10 of 18, 110 yards, just 6.1 yards per attempt, a 30.7 QBR. So yeah, the Jets may not be able to throw the ball. Got it. But I still think they could win the game. They beat the Packers 27-10 in Lambeau and threw for 110 yards. The Jets' run game rushed for 33 carries, 179 yards, and 2 touchdowns, 5.4 yards per carry on Green Bay and Lambeau. Now, Denver's run defense is much better than the Packers, but still the strength of the Denver defense is stopping the pass, and I don't think the Jets care. I'm on the Jets, and you can tell by this low total. What is it, 36.5? The books have this one at. I saw it at 37. I have it open right here. Jets, 36.5. So it tells you what kind of game the books are expecting. So obviously when you're dealing with that kind of game, 1 fumble, 1 missed field goal could be the difference. So I'm not saying bet the house on the Jets. This might not even make the VIP ticket. Certainly won't be in the top 7 bets. But I'm on the Jets here. Let's say Jets 17, Broncos 13. Final score. I'm on the Jets. Prop Beaver.
All right, Chiefs. I have the mea culpa here. And some are going to say, how could you bet 2 of these things at the same time? Because I'm the prop Beaver. No. So I'm betting the Jets -1.5. I truly think the run game shines here. Yes, the Broncos rush defense has looked a bit better lately, but I don't really think they've played anybody as of note. I mean, they faced Phillip Lindsay and Deion Jackson, and they let Deion Jackson still run for 4.8 yards per carry. So I'm not really too impressed with the Broncos rush defense. I think that Breece Hall is going to beast on them. But here's my thing. I don't think Zach Wilson's going to have any success in this game whatsoever. I like him to go and have 0 touchdowns because it's happened in 6 to 8 road games. They've still managed to win some of those games, including last week. So I like the same reality here. A low-scoring game. I don't think the Broncos are going to be able to do anything. Mike Boone and Latavius Murray certainly don't scare me. So I got to go with the Jets. I'm going with the under. I'm going with Wilson, too.
I like that guy in the comments, Swanky B. He goes, the Jets pick feels like a gift or a trick.
Trap of the trap of the trap.
It's either a trap or it's a trap setting for the trap. So it's all a trap. That trap is a trap. That trap is a complete trap.
It makes sense.
All right, let's go to the next one. Texans, Raiders. All right, this one was simple for me. I mean, I know that, like, the obvious mismatch is the Raiders' run game with Josh Jacobs against the Texans' defense, which has struggled to stop the run. Everybody in the world can find that mismatch, right? But to me, there's a reason that all the sharps are hammered. The public's on the Raiders, but the sharp money's all over Houston. And it's been all over Houston all week. There's a reason the sharps like Texans here. Houston's defense looks better every week. In fact, if you take out the Chargers game, the Houston Texans defense has just been this in DVOA. Well, actually, it's been this, but down is better in defense. But you get my point. It's improved every single week other than the Chargers game. That was like a bump. So the Texans defense, I think, is better than any of us think it is. I'm not going to say it's good, just better than we think. And yeah, the Raiders have been running the ball real well. Josh Jacobs is probably having the best season of his career, probably. But it doesn't take a rocket scientist to find that mismatch. And I think the books love that. I think they're loving how everyone's like, oh, the Raiders have run the ball well. Texans can't stop the run defense. Bet the Raiders. I think the books are loving that the public is laying 7 points with a team that's won one football game this year. Laying a full touchdown with a team that's won one football game. Both these teams are coming off a bye, so I think the high from the Raiders-Chiefs rivalry battle, the Raiders almost got them. That was a great football game. That high is definitely worn off. It's back to business as usual for the Raiders. Houston at home is not a game that they're going to be worrying about. I really think that the Texans keep this one close. I could see a Derek Carr turnover or two. And also, one more thing. Everyone's talking about Josh Jacobs running the ball in the Texans defense. Fair. Why is no one's talking about Dameon Pierce running the ball in the Raiders defense? Dameon Pierce is averaging 104 yards a game over the past 3. So why is no one talking about that matchup? Dameon Pierce has been running the ball just as well as Jacobs over the past 3 weeks. I like the Texans here. I think the Raiders will probably win. There's no way the Raiders go to 1-5 and lose to the Texans, but I could see it. But a full touchdown, definitely. Houston +7.
I think it's because Yuhu Bigsby doesn't play on the Texans O-line, as he plays on the Raiders O-line.
Did Yuhu Bigsby practice yesterday?
he got a limited session in. He has a chance to play today. All right.
Hold on. For the record, let me clarify. For the record, Yuhu Bigsby is not a real person. We use him as in inside jokes. Just because people right now are like, "Who's Yuhu Bigsby?" and go to Google it. He's not a real person. All right, go home. Prop Beaver, go ahead.
This game is miserable. This is really tough because honestly, in a weird way, I'm looking at that -7 spread and I'm thinking to myself, damn, that is so high. Maybe, just maybe, the books are thinking to themselves like, hey, maybe people are not going to want to lay it with this 1-4 team. I don't know. But since there's no real line movement there, since they didn't make it 7.5, oh my God, this is fucking gross. Houston +7. Davis Mills on the road has sucked his entire career. I don't know how he's going to do it, but I think it's a sharp play. It's the right play. If there's one thing that's been making a lot of people money this year, it's fading those Raiders. So, going to stick to it.
Yo, Prop Beaver, a couple things. Number one, Davis Mills does suck on the road, numbers-wise, but Houston has not been beaten by more than a touchdown on the road this whole season. In all 3 of their games, they've never lost by more than a touchdown. Also, that more so applies to last year. But I wanted to ask, why is the comments thing broken? Is that why you're putting the picks down there on the screen?
Yeah, during the meltdown earlier, it somehow got deleted. That was also part of the reason for the anger. So yeah.
Oh my god, I still can't believe Beaver yelled at his mom on a live broadcast.
I mean, no, actually, once one of the comments said all you said was "what, mom?" I realized no, I didn't yell at my mom.
But if you say that, I saw that comment. But if you say "mom, what?" in a certain tone, that could be lit.
Dude, I look like such a loser. It's what, mom? What?
All right, Sean, are you with us or against us?
I am against you. I'm laying the 7 here with the Raiders. I don't feel great about it, though, honestly. As you said, it's 7 points with a Raiders team that somehow finds a way to lose every game that they play. But this Houston's offense is gross. 28th in offensive DVOA. They're 26th in defensive DVOA. And like you said, I think the Texans defense is trending up. I think this Raiders offense is really trending up as well. As you pointed out, Josh Jacobs should be able to go off in this one versus Texans run D. And Dameon Pierce has kind of been the focal point of this Texans offense, as you said. But this Raiders defense is 6th in the NFL in rush yards allowed per game. So I'm not expecting Pierce to just be able to go crazy in this one. They're going to have to force Davis Longneck Mills to be able to throw the ball versus Raiders defense. And he hasn't shown the ability to go ahead and carry an offense yet. Number is high, but to me it's high for a reason. So I'm going to lay the 7 with the Raiders, but I do feel gross about it.
Yo, AJ, did you put the font for his LV -7 super small because you think it's a dog shit pick?
Yeah, I honestly, I just kind of didn't want people to waste their money. So I was let's put it small and maybe people won't bet it. Nah, I'm playing.
All right. Seahawks and Chargers. Beaver yelled at his mom. Seahawks Chargers. Okay, so do you want to know what the most public bet on the entire board is this week? The Seahawks plus the points. Everyone. We're talking 80% of the public. We're talking 90% of the money. Everyone you have ever met in your life is holding a Seahawks ticket right now. But not I. I am bolting the hell up. Yeah, Geno Smith deserves the credit that he's getting for this year. He really has played great. He's protected the football, really taken a step forward as far as the trajectory of his career. Good for him. But can we relax a little? Because it's not nearly as good as people are making it out to be. Seattle's just 14th in the NFL in passing yards per game. Sure, his numbers are efficient. They certainly are. He's been good. But they're only averaging, 230 passing yards a game is nothing that's going to strike fear into me. Also, look at some of these defenses Seattle has seen in recent weeks. This is just in the last 4 weeks. They've seen the Cardinals, the Lions, and the Falcons. 3 bottom 10 defenses, 3 bottom 10 pass defenses. The Chargers pass defense is 11th in DVOA. This will be the best defense. Last week, and then also last week against the Cardinals, against that bad defense, put up 19 points and didn't look great at all. As far as the Seahawks defense, I'm not letting that performance against the Cardinals sway me off of thinking that this defense sucks. They held the Cardinals to 9, but they're not good. Let's not get it twisted. Here are the point totals the Seattle defense has allowed in the 4 games before the Cardinals. 39, 45, 27, 27. 34.5 points a game. And it's not like they were playing electric offenses in those 4 games. They're playing the Saints, the Lions, the Falcons, the 49ers. 34.5 points allowed per game is a lot against the Saints, the Lions, the Falcons, and the 49ers. I don't believe in the Seahawks defense at all. I don't even really believe in the Seahawks offense at all, especially without Rashad Penny. I mean, look how the offense looked without Penny last week. 19 points against Arizona. I'm on the Chargers all day here. I hate that I'm shitting on the Seahawks because before the season, when everyone was saying the Seahawks were going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL, I was the one defending them. I was like, I like Seattle this year. I think they'll win a few games. Not this one. Chargers by at least 10.
Yeah, I'm with you here. Really like a same thing. And when I looked at the look aheads, I was like, I'll probably be on the Seahawks in that one. Then the spread came out. It's 5 to the Chargers. I have to take the Chargers here in this spot. Like you said, this Seattle defense, I don't care what the score was last week. This Seattle defense is atrocious. Justin Herbert threw 0 touchdowns last week. He might throw 7 today. No, I'm just kidding. He's not going to throw 7. But there's no reason why he can't get 3. And then Austin Eckler versus this 31st ranked run defense from the Seattle Seahawks should run wild as well and do his thing in the short passing game as well. I just don't see a path to success here for this Seattle team. I cannot believe this spread is under a touchdown.
Hell yeah. Spider-Man McLovin pick of the day. That makes me want to fade it, Beaver. Jesus. All right, let's hear it.
Why do you say Spider-Man? Didn't we on the tweet?
Batman. Big time Batman.
Yeah, Batman picks, dude.
He's switching from DC to Marvel.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I fucking offended any of you goddamn nerds. No, so I like the Chargers here a lot because, simply put, what is this? We're getting Justin Herbert at home against probably a bottom 3 defensive unit. You have a bunch of 5th-round rookies, essentially, starting at the cornerback position for the Seahawks. And you have Herbert coming off a game where he threw 0 touchdowns, looked, quite frankly, dreadful. I think he throws 3 or 4 touchdowns. I was just looking for a way to bet that. I couldn't find it. I will find a way, and I will bet that because I honestly think he could throw 4, maybe 5 touchdowns here against that horrible, horrible pass defense.
That goes in line with what I'm about to say. If you want to add a second bet to this or maybe turn it into some kind of SGP, there's a reason the Chargers team total is so high. Chargers team total at 27.5. You can get that at minus 105. Beaver just said he thinks Justin Herbert could throw 3 or 4 touchdowns. Well, if he throws 4, this hits. I like that. So I'm going to bet that maybe a half unit. I don't know if it's going to be on the VIP ticket. As of right now, it's not. I typed out a mock draft of the VIP ticket, and it's not on there. But it might be a last minute edition before I publish it. So. But I do like the Chargers team total.
I got a question. Did you tell people I was giving out anytime TD bets on here?
I've never said such a thing in my life.
There's some guy like a prop Beaver hasn't given out 1 TD score today. Well, what do you mean? Who the hell gives out TD scores as an actual pick for a game?
Right, like they're horribly valued bets. I mean, I use them sometimes because they're fun, but like nobody's betting touchdowns. No one's betting touchdown scorers because it's like this is good value here. No, I mean, they're not. They're smart bets. They're all juiced as hell to favor the books. And
they're corrupt.
So I didn't even write down notes for this game because I'm sad. I've switched sides. Whoa, what are you doing? I thought we were doing.
Oi, my bad.
I was on the 49ers all week. Nick Bosa's back. Ward's back. The corner. I can't do it. I'm taking Patrick Mahomes. I'm square as hell here. Make fun of me. I don't care. I'm taking Mahomes coming off a loss. You know what did it for me? I'll tell you what did it for me. The Christian McCaffrey trade. I felt like everyone was on the Chiefs, and I was chilling. It was 49ers plus 2.5. Then early in the week, on like Tuesday night, it drops to 2, even though the action's on the Chiefs. And I was like, I like this. Like, I'm taking 49ers plus 2. But then Christian McCaffrey trade happens, and these idiots start rushing over to my side. Bro, McCaffrey and the Niners, like, they're going to beat the shit out of the Chiefs. And I don't want to side with someone who talks like that. I can't. I hate this game. It's going to be so fun to watch, and I hate it. I'm on Patrick Mahomes, king of the not covering. But I will say that the Chiefs laying 1.5, it was 64. So since 2018 or whatever it was, of the 64 regular season wins the Chiefs had, only 2 of them have come by 2 points or less. So with a spread like minus 1.5, you might as well lay it because it's practically a money line. They always win by more than that. I am on Mahomeless, and I know I'm a public Pete here. Sean, you're on San Fran, right?
I am not on San Fran.
Oh!
I read up. I did say I lean San Fran, but I'm not on the Chiefs either. Like you said, I keep going back and forth with this game. I can't decide on a side. So I'm going to take, as you said, this is going to be a fun game. So I'm going to take the fun bet. Give me the over 49 here. I think if the Chiefs cover, it is going to be an over game. 49ers, I think, are going to be able to move the ball versus this Chiefs defense that isn't very good at all. They're 28th in defensive DVOA. Even Jimmy G is going to be able to move the ball. There's just too many weapons on this 49ers offense to be able to get slowed down by this Chiefs secondary. And if they're going to win, they're going to have to keep pace with Kansas City. I understand how good the let me reset my voice real quick. But the
Sean's coming off COVID,
defense,
by the way. For those who don't know, Sean had COVID this week.
Yeah.
So he's
yes,
recovering.
I'm not worried about getting COVID. COVID has to be worried about getting me. San Francisco's defense is very good as well, but this is the Chiefs offense we're talking about here. So many weapons. Isaiah Pacheco, I don't know if you guys heard, is actually getting the start over Clyde Edwards-Helaire this week at running back. I think he's more of the complete running back than CEH, so I think there's going to be a better ground game for Kansas City in this one. They're getting Bosa back and a couple guys in the secondary, but this 49ers defense is still not at full strength. I expect there to be points galore in this one, and it's going to be a fun game to watch, so I want to be on the over.
Yo, Beaver, did you by chance read the Athletic article on this game this morning? They just posted it this morning. I read it like an hour before we went live. Did you read that by any chance?
Dude, I've been in a state of disarray this morning. No articles were read.
But basically what they were saying is the guy did a paragraph on the Chiefs offense, and he just listed off all the categories they're first in, and it was like EPA per play, EPA per drive, first in DVOA in drives with one or more pass attempts or something. And it's like 6 or 7 things in a row. And I knew Chiefs offense was towards the top of the league analytically, but it was pretty well written and impressive. I was just wondering if you saw it. So you're on the over also.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the over. I mean, here's my problem here. I think I think Jimmy G can have a great game passing the ball, truthfully. I think that he's going to be motivated considering this is a team that beat him in the Super Bowl. You've got Ayuk on the outside who last week looked stellar. Now he's coming into this game with some momentum. If we could see second half Ayuk here, that will definitely cause problems for Chiefs defense. That's the worst in the league against wide receiver ones. So that's something to take note of. But my problem is the Chiefs defense has actually been really good against the run. Like, pretty damn good against the run. And Jeff Wilson Jr., while he could be efficient at times, they're not using McCaffrey throughout the full game. They're only going to be using him in the red zone. So I don't know if things are going to... I don't know if the 49ers are going to run it effectively. That's going to lead to the Chiefs getting a lead. Then the 49ers are going to have to come from behind, pass it. I like the over. I do. I like the over. 49ers defense is still too vulnerable right now.
I can get on board with the over, and because you both like it, I'll probably add that for 0.5 or 0.75 to the VIP. I like your guys' reasoning, and I'll tail that.
Thank you, Lil Bow Wow.
And I believe next one's... We only got one game left, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I've been waiting all day for Sunday night.
Carrie Underwood. I'm sure the viewers love to hear that this early in the morning, was you singing into the mic.
Better than me yelling.
So, as far as the Steelers-Dolphins, this one's just like pretty straightforward. Okay, so I have a sneaky suspicion that the Dolphins aren't a very good team. And I know Tua's been out. And I'm not really even talking about the offense, but I'll start with the offense. If you remember, when the Dolphins were lighting it up, those 2 or 3 games, what that Tua was in there, I mean, some of the ball, that one Tyreek Hill deep touchdown pass that, I think it was the one against Baltimore, they all kind of meshed together. But it wasn't even a good ball. Tyreek Hill, came out of his route and hawked it down. I think Teddy Bridgewater could have thrown the same ball. I'm not saying Tua sucks. I'm not a Tua hater. He wins football games. I just don't think 7.5 is reasonable to lay in a primetime game where they're all low-scoring defensive games. All of them. I'm at the point where just blindly taking unders in primetime, and I hate doing that because primetime trends are weird. It's such a small sample size, but it keeps hitting. So Beaver, I'm on Pittsburgh plus 7.5 and under 44.5. I'm on both. But it's the Dolphins defense that really doesn't do it for me. I know Dolphins fans are going to hate to hear this because of what happened during the offseason, but they're missing Brian Flores right now. This team last year was blitzing all the time. They were covering, and I know Byron Jones has been hurt this year, so they're missing a corner. But Xavier Howard's having the worst year of his career. They're not getting to the quarterback even when they do blitz. This defense just isn't what it was last year, and I really think they miss Brian Flores calling the plays. I don't trust the Dolphins defense, and the Dolphins offense is very one-dimensional. I mean, I'm on the Steelers. I think they can win. I swear to God, I think they can win the game straight up.
So I agree with you on the Steelers for sure, but I'm actually leaning the other way on the total. I think that Kenny Pickett could have some success passing the ball here. The Dolphins haven't been able to create any pressure whatsoever this season. Any. And on top of that, Xavier Howard has looked like a bottom 3 corner in the NFL. This is a guy who last year was amongst the best corners in the NFL. So now you got a guy who became one of your strengths and is now a liability guarding Deontay Johnson on the outside. And if the Pittsburgh O-line has time, then the Steelers' offense really isn't that horrible, at least not with Mitch Trubisky in at quarterback. So I think Pittsburgh is going to score some points here. I think Miami's going to score some points here because I don't believe in the Steelers' defense without Miami. But ultimately, when you're giving me that hook, that's what gets me. I'm going to take Pittsburgh plus the hook.
All right, cool. We're both on Pittsburgh. Shard, are you with us?
I am not. I'm with Beaver, though. I'm on the over 44.5. I don't think this Steelers secondary has anyone that can cover Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle in this one. Tua isn't great. When Teddy Bridgewater was in there at quarterback, I felt like the drop-off wasn't significant at all. I didn't really downgrade their offense. But Tua's back. He's looked good this year. I think we're going to see this passing attack. Look how it was in the beginning of the year with those two going crazy, especially yards after the catch. Versus this Steelers secondary that's still a little banged up, even though they got Minkah Fitzpatrick back this week. And then on the flip side, like you said, I don't like this Dolphins defense at all. And I've actually been I made a lot of Kenny Pickett jokes about like baby hands and shit, but I've actually been really impressed with how he's looked this year. He's staying in the pocket. He's taking hits to be able to make accurate throws and on-time throws. And then their wide receiver core is awesome with Pickens and Deontay Johnson. And I fully expect that Pickett can put up points here on this Dolphins defense. I think this game is played into the high 40s, maybe even low 50s in this one.
Wow. Okay, cool. So you guys both on the over there and 2 of us on the Steelers. All right. So that's it for the picks. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I know that we said we were going to do a live every week, but those London games messed it up because I had to get the VIP ticket out the night before going to sleep, so I was staying up till like 4 a.m, and then I wasn't prepared to wake up and do a live. So we're definitely in the future going to do more of this. When our staff grows, right now there's just a few of us. We don't really have enough people to make these graphics, produce the show. It's a lot of work. So, but we're growing, so we're gonna do more live stuff.
I have
VIPs.
A question real quick. I have a question. Are we giving?
I'm listening.
You got any parlays to give out or anything? I got a parlay.
Yeah, you know what? Give out your parlay. I have 2, but I have them on the VIP, so I want to be fair to them and not.
All right, so let me set up my parlay real quick. It has a nice name. Okay.
And Kyle, just to let you know, the Cowboys Lions is now at 7.
I knew it would hit eventually. I'm glad I got that ticket in. Nice.
Okay,
all right. Anyway, give us the parlay.
This is called the Please God Make It Stop. And it's Zach Wilson under 0.5 pass TDs and PJ Walker under 0.5 pass TDs. And
wow.
And that's coming in at plus 443.
Yo, do you get plus 443? That's cool. I mean, I thought it would be a little better than that, to be honest, but you guys want to know what Beaver's fantasy football team name is? Don't bully me, I'll come.
Yeah, that is my fantasy team name. Don't bully me, I'll come. Well, if you want to talk about a championship level program, that's the type of team you got to name it.
Don't bully me, I'll come. All right, so let's call it. The VIPs give me 15 minutes just to type in the. I got to add in a couple things to the VIP ticket. But it's done. So literally 15 minutes, it'll be up for you. And that's it. Everyone, have yourselves a great Sunday. Hope you all win some money. And I guess we'll talk. Hit me up on Twitter if you need anything. Everyone have a good one. Beaver, you can hit the cut off button.
Thanks for watching, Chiefs.